Jason McCourty is going to join us right now, one of my favorite people in the world, and he's doing us a solid here. Look at him there.
Amen.
So, Jason and I co-hosted Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. I consider this man a brother, and now we are here on ESPN airwaves together. J-Mac, how's the summer been?
Man, it's been awesome. I've just been sitting here thinking about which teams are going to make it. I think, the Commanders, if they get Terry McLaurin there, they're going to be the favorite in the NFC East. But if Michael Parsons gets his deal done before week 1, they may be the team. But can you imagine if Jackson Dart is as good as Jaden Daniel was as a rookie? The Eagles have no shot in the NFC East. That's all I came in to say, just for this.
But J-Mac, you know what I'm talking about. This is what we do in August. It's like we visit a camp for literally 3 hours. You come out and you're like, wow, I mean, gosh, the Bengals, I know that it's just everyone has a team, but like, who is the team right now? If I'm putting you on the spot, because I trust what you say, who is the team that maybe not everyone's talking about that you at least have your eye on? And not maybe sort of, but like, hey, I'm going to roll with this team this year.
If I'm picking one, and everybody's talking about them, I would say, or they're mentioning their names, I think the Denver Broncos. And not just saying that to say, all right, they're going to be good as a good football team. I think the Denver Broncos can compete and be a team that we're talking about later on in the season as a possibility to get into the playoffs and go on a run and be talking about them as a Super Bowl type of team. I think Bo Nix has that ability to take the next step. Sean Payton is a head coach that has been in this position before and has been building for this. As good as they were on defense last year, you go out and you sign Talanoa Hufanga and you sign Dre Greenlaw to come over to that side of the defense and go and be able to dominate and run around. So when I look at them, RJ Harvey in the backfield, another explosive weapon, Evan Ingram, another guy on the offensive side of the ball. This was a team last year that when they were in the playoffs and we started talking about them and they were in close games against the Kansas City Chiefs, losing by a blocked field goal, we all were shocked. We had no idea Bo Nix was going to be that type of player last year. There's going to be a little bit more of a target on their back this year, but I think they've made improvements where it's not just, all right, they're going to make the playoffs, but they're a team that I think can go out there and can compete and beat every team in the AFC.
You were down in Miami for a bit at the end of your career, and they're a team that everyone's immediately writing off saying they're done. I've turned the tide. I think I'm in on the Dolphins. Like, I like the fact that no one's talking about them. And
how in are you, Shregs?
How much do you all the way in, AJ?
All the way in. I honestly think the Dolphins, this is like, and I got to kind of work this, we workship like my reasoning.
Yeah, I got to talk through it.
Like,
You better workshop.
I got
some good.
But I feel like anyone that Mike McDaniel wanted out is out. And that might be Jalen Ramsey. It might be some of the other malcontents that Ramsey wasn't a malcontent, but like guys that maybe weren't all on the plan. I feel like Mike has all of his guys now, and it's like if we do have one more year to show it, like at least I'm going to do it my way, and we're going to roll, and we're going to play offense, and we're going to do our best with defensive guys getting back. You were in Miami. A couple guys are still on that team. Tua, of course, was a quarterback that you saw close up. Like, has the train passed by Miami, or are we now back thinking maybe they are still that team that put up 70 on the Broncos 2 years ago?
Right now, I don't see it. And you mentioned they've gotten some of those guys out that maybe Mike didn't want there. But my question is, who are the guys that you brought in to replace those guys? When they were talking about trading Jalen Ramsey and then finally dealt him to Pittsburgh, my concern was, all right, you got rid of Ramsey. All right, Kendall Fuller, who's your starter last year, he's gone. Who are the cornerbacks that you're bringing in that are surefires that you're like, all right, these are going to be our two guys on the outside? And that's not to mention Akader Kohu and Artie Burns all getting injured. So when I look at this Dolphins team, the little bit of the stress they went through last year and the adversity and the Tyreek Hill stuff at the end of the season and all of these different things, we continue to say the same thing about the Dolphins every year. And I know my guy D-Bud is out there in South Florida. You're saying they're not a team that can play in cold weather. They're not a tough football team that can run the ball when it matters. What has changed from the last few years to this year that you're going to say, all right, we see this team and they're taking the next step and they're going to do this or that? I just haven't seen those moves in this offseason to really get behind them. Are they going to be a solid football team? Absolutely. You got Tua, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill. You have those explosive players. What is Darren Waller going to look like? Just activated off pup. Out of football for an entire year. Can he come in and have the type of impact that Jonnu Smith had last year? I don't know. There's a lot of question marks to me with that.
Yeah. before we go around the horn, one of the guys you played with there is now a New York Giant. Get Giants fans excited. Tell us about Javon Holland, who was a fellow defensive back with you at the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. That's my guy. And all I've heard all training camp is that he's been a complete ball hawk. And I think for all of these young guys, sometimes you get drafted by a team, you're there for Javon Holland. He was there with 3 different defensive coordinators, a lot of change that happened around. Sometimes you need a little bit of a new scenery. I don't think he was even offered a contract by the Miami Dolphins. So now you become a member of the New York Giants. They paid him. They believe in him. So now you get a chance to go out there and be one of the older guys in that secondary and become a true leader. This is a guy that became a captain in his 2nd year, and he's a football player. So I think his ability to get out there, conduct everything, play in the deep part of the field, move up, be able to blitz, and do the things he did when Flores was there with Josh Boyer as a defensive coordinator, I think is going to help him a ton. So I'm really excited about what Javon's going to bring to the secondary. And hey, the Giants are a team that got a lot better.
Here we go.
I ain't saying they're going to be a playoff team, but they got a lot better in football.
Yep. You're there in Jersey. What's the vibe? I know you go into a Wawa, or you're stepping into your ShopRite. Someone's going to stop you and want to talk Giants. What's the vibe on Giants right now in Jersey?
Big Wawa guy out here. We finally got him up in North Jersey, not in South Jersey.
Sheets is better.
People are fired up. Dable is in my town, so I see Dave's all the time. I'm rocking my Franklin Lakes Pee Wee football gear on.
Hell yeah.
He's out there with his son and his daughter. People are extremely excited because when you turn the TV on and you're watching a Giants game, you get excited about what you see in Jackson Dart. When you see Russell Wilson throwing a moon ball down the field 80 yards, you get excited about that. When you log on to social media and you see Jameis Winston talking about guys going to chapel and believing and hitting the crossbar on a throw at the end of practice to get them out of meetings, you get excited about that. There's just so much positivity right now that surrounds the New York Giants. A year after they had planes flying over, was saying this is a dumpster fire on game day over top of the stadium. It's a completely new hope right now with this New York Giants football team. And then you have Abdul Carter tweeting out and calling out the Jets and talking about BT. Like these are the vibes that
J-Mac, I know you're kind of old school. Did you like this?
I did, but it was Micah Parsons a few years ago with Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm a D lineman. I literally had one of the coaches on my Pee Wee team that was like, man, Abdul Carter, man, this kid's not any good. Did you see him get hit in the game? I'm like, did you watch any of the game, or did you just see one highlight of him getting chipped? He's been dominating out there. So I think everybody just loves this New York Giants team. It's trash talk a little bit. It's hard-nosed. This is what you want, a little bit of flair and all of that.
Did you guys know that Jason McCourty was once on Saturday Night Live?
What?
J-Mac, tell him the story.
Didn't know that.
Hey, when you're an identical twin and you grow up single mom, and we got to create income however we can. Moms is driving us in and out of New York City, auditioning for this, auditioning for that. Obviously, we weren't too damn good because you didn't see us in anything, but we ended up getting casted on Saturday Night Live. It was a Martha Stewart special, and we was just extras. We're just sitting on the ground while they're doing the skit, and that was our big claim to fame. We was in Saturday Night Live. No one knew we were there. Our names probably didn't even roll at the credits at the end, but we were able to live and tell that story. It was all day. I hated it. I wanted to just play sports as a kid.
Of course. All right, let's go around the horn here. Boston Connor.
Yeah, now your real claim to fame is being a Super Bowl champion for the New England Patriots. Thank you for your service, brother. I very much appreciate that. But looking forward to this season, I wanted to ask you, what young DB you're excited about, but really the young DB everyone's kind of got their eyes on is Travis Hunter now, playing both ways. How do you think that is going to go realistically? D-Butt told me that in Madden, his conditioning is 100 and he never gets tired. Yep. So if that happens in real life, then he should be okay. But do you expect him to do both the entire year? Do you think it'll be kind of split between one and full-time the other? What are you expecting to see out of Jacksonville and Travis Hunter?
I'm expecting him to do both. I think it's going to be extremely hard. I still have question marks about his ability to be able to do that throughout a 17-game season. But if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars and I drafted him as high as we did and made moves to get up there to get him, you don't draft him just to go out there and play wide receiver and provide that access for Trevor Lawrence to get the ball to him. You don't pay him to go out there and just play defensive back and go cover a receiver. You need this guy to be explosive, to be exciting. Fans coming up wearing their Travis Hunter jerseys because you don't know where he's going to align. So I expect it to maybe be a game-by-game thing where it may be, hey, we need him to match up a little bit more defensively with this guy this week. Or, hey, offensively, we think we can find mismatches to get him the ball in certain situations. So I very much see them having him go out there and playing both ways and doing the most that he can unless something stops him physically from being able to do that. I can't imagine him not doing that. But as far as young DBs, Jahdae Barron on the Broncos, I'm excited to see what he can do, blitzing and covering and doing all of those things.
I hate to cut you off when you're doing a Barron bit. I wanted to ask you, though, because you know the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville very well, right? You know Camp. Tell him about who that man is and what you think he might bring to that team.
People that got a chance to watch the in-season Hard Knocks of the Miami Dolphins, you got to see just a preview of what Anthony Campanelli is all about. When you mention New Jersey, when you think of what New Jersey football is like at the high school level, it's the Italian guy screaming at the top of his lungs, getting people fired up, slamming things in the room, throwing a chair through the window. That is Coach Camp. And throughout the course of the week, he loves every single guy that he gets a chance to coach and come in contact with. So Anthony Campanelli is going to be one hell of a defensive coordinator down there in Jacksonville.
AJ, what do you got? You got a question for J-Mac?
Yeah, Jay, speaking of defensive coordinators, the Bengals brought in Al Golden this year to try to shore up things in the defensive end. We know Joe Burrow is going to put up points and how good that offense is, but what do you expect from this Bengals defense? And I guess what do you expect from them as a team?
Well, watching them against the Commanders, I don't expect a damn thing. I look at this for Al Golden. I'm coaching Pee Wee football right now. If we go play the neighbor in town and all of their kids are 6 foot and they look like monsters and I'm rolling out there with little twerp 9 and 10-year-olds, it don't matter how great of a scheme I have. We have no shot. For the Bengals, they have to figure out to get these young guys that they've drafted to play at a high level right away. Find a way. Pay Trey Hendrickson. Get him the money. They need as much good players on the defensive side of the ball as possible. If I'm Joe Burrow, I'm standing on the sideline and I'm watching this, I'm in everybody's face, slamming helmets. Dude, we got to figure it out. Make a trade, do something. There's no way we're just going to hit repeat on exactly what we did last year. That defense was ugly. And I know it's just a preseason and all of that, but I always think about this. When you look at the preseason, whatever was the point of emphasis from the season before, it better look good now in the preseason. We talked about Caleb Williams not holding on to the ball, all of those things. In the preseason, it looked better. It looked like something they were working on. I don't know what the hell the Bengals was working on last season, but we need to see more from that defensive side of the ball.
Who do you have week one? I know you do CBS games, and you got a great crew with you. You're with Andrew Catalan and I believe Charles Davis this year. Who's your first game?
We're at Indy. We got Daniel Jones and Miami's coming to town. Daniel Jones and Tagovailoa.
Sorry, man. Hey, you're going to enjoy Indy, but yeah, sorry about that, brother.
Which quarterback would you have rather faced, AR or Daniel Jones?
To me, I would hate to see AR out there because if I'm on defense, I'm terrified of the unknown. You don't know if this guy's going to scramble and run you over as a DB. You don't know if he's going to flick his wrist and throw the ball 60 yards down the field. So I would much rather face a Daniel Jones, and that's no disrespect, but Anthony Richardson creates that unknown that to me is terrifying as a defense.
Ty?
J-Mac, just curious, how do you feel about the Packers defense going into this year? Throughout, as a Packers fan, all offseason, they kind of let everyone from their cornerback room walk, and they did sign, Nate Hobbs from Vegas, but then a lot of the talk was, hey, Bo Melton, this receiver, we're going to put him at cornerback, and we're going to see. And, they've been saying he's been doing great, but they were much improved last year with Jeff Hafley. Obviously, their safeties are very good. Do you expect them to, take another step up this year? Because I feel like if they want to do what everyone thinks they can do, their defense needs to be much better again this year.
D-Buck, where did Bo Melton go to school?
I hope he didn't go up that shitty school up in Jersey. Yeah. I hope not.
You damn right, baby. That's a fella.
Piscataway.
Rutgers, baby.
Jesus.
Why do you think they put so much trust in my guy? I look at this Packers defense, and you're hoping they take a step, but when you lose guys, it typically takes a little bit of time to gel and build that chemistry for everybody to be able to come together. So it's not going to happen right away. You lose a guy like Jair Alexander, who played a lot of good football, has been banged up the last few years, and now you're throwing guys out. You mentioned Nate Hobbs. You mentioned bringing Bo Melton from the offensive side of the ball to the defensive side of the ball. You're not going to just hit the ground running and everybody just pick up. It's going to take a little bit of time. But in that division, you don't have that much time. So I look at this Packers team. Yes, Jordan Love, Matthew Golden, his addition, the defensive side of the ball, I think they're going to be good, but I don't see that step forward happening right away. It's going to be throughout the course of the season. How much better can they improve from a week-to-week standpoint and getting guys on the outside that can play more man-to-man and get them out of the cover 2 and the cover 3, which they played a lot of last season.
I got a tweet just saying when we're in the dome, it's not around the horn, it's around the dome. So let's go around the dome, not around the horn.
Okay. I like that.
What do we got?
Yeah, Jason, we talked about Jalen Ramsey earlier and him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. As we know, the front seven there has been incredible, will be incredible, but getting Jalen Ramsey, getting Darius Slay, they are very, very happy with those two. How do you feel about the Steelers defense as a whole, the Steelers secondary, and can they lead them deep into the playoffs?
Hey, I think we're going to see a lot of Ramsey on the inside in the slot. I think that's where he's going to be most effective, where he can blitz and do all of those fun things. Man, when you have pass rush that the Pittsburgh Steelers have, assuming Cam Hayward gets back out there and everything is settled with his contract, man, that makes life easy when you got 30-year-old DBs out there. Darius Slay played his butt off last year on a Super Bowl winning team. I don't have a reason to just guess that he's going to fall off a cliff this year. So him and Ramsey out there, I think, are going to be special. And then Joey Porter Jr., I think for those guys, you have a Joey Porter Jr. on the outside that can go and follow around the other team's number one wide receiver, which makes Slay and Ramsey's job a lot easier. The issue they're going to have is when you show up on Wednesday and you start game planning, who's going to be content with covering the number 2 or the number 3 wide receiver, because all of these guys at points in their career have been that guy. So I think from a confidence standpoint and what they're bringing on the defensive side of the ball, they have nothing but dogs out there. So now is how do we implement this thing and put it going forward so that we can go out there and dominate on the defensive side of the ball. But it's exciting to see because this is what we've always known the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise to be. Guys going out there, winning the game on defense, and then having an offense to go out there, running the football, and making the plays necessary.
Where do you stand on Pittsburgh? You in on them going into the season? People are either in one of two camps. They're Rodgers is toast, and I don't want to do this all over again. I did it with the Jets last year. I got excited. Or they're all in, I'm all in. Like, where do you stand with the Steelers?
Well, I don't think they're the Jets. I think that comparison, just because Rodgers was there, isn't fair. This is a team that has been winning, has been in the playoffs. They're not bringing Rodgers in there to save them. So I do like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like them to win a playoff game this year. I like them to get there.
Wow.
And, so I look at them as a team that I think they do take those steps. I don't have them as a Super Bowl contender, though.
Final Four's pretty good, though. That's all right.
I think we would take that at this point, yeah.
That's it. D-Bot, what do you got?
AFC Championship.
So, Jason, you played, I know you played for Bill. Conman mentioned your Super Bowl championship up there in New England. I believe you overlapped a little bit with Mike Vrabel, not maybe in Tennessee, maybe in Cleveland. What are the similarities and differences between Bill and Mike? And what's your expectation for Pat's Drake May's year 2 and then Vrabel, the prince that was promised back in New England?
The prince that was promised. I got a chance these last 2 weeks doing the Patriots preseason games of being around Braves and the team a lot. The similarities, I think, is the expectation that he has for the guys out there on the football field. It is all football with him, and he expects guys to go out there and know what they're doing. And if you're not, he is not afraid to tell you about it. Talking to Drake May a little bit, he mentioned that when they get in there in the team meeting room, Vrabel will put a play up and talk about somebody not doing their job. He's not afraid of anybody when it comes to that type of stuff in the room. I think where they differ a lot, which you can appreciate this as well, D-Butt, is Vrabel is a guy that he very much loves that personal connection with his guys. If you've seen him on Bussin' with the Boys with Taylor and Will and those guys and busting their chops, like he loves to do that. We're sitting there and I'm watching him make fun of Jabril Peppers as we're talking about me and Jabril being a part of the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. That part of coaching, I think he loves just as much as he loves teaching the guys. So I think it's extremely high expectations for Drake May in year 2 of taking that step. The thing talking to Josh McDaniels with Drake May is as soon as they got there, they unloaded and they gave him everything. Last year, he wasn't calling it at the line of scrimmage with, hey, we're going Mike here, we're setting the protection here, all of those things. They gave him all of that, and he has loved every part of it and the growth that he's had since he's been there, the leadership and speaking up and all of those different things.
What's your vibe on Belichick college coach? Because that's, I mean, they got the Patriots fans here fired up. But like, we talked to Damian Woody. He's like, I think it's the most fascinating story. Are you in on that? Like, do you think that suddenly Belichick is going to take the North Carolina Tar Heels to prominence, or is this just a cute story?
Whoa.
Man, those are two drastically different things. I'm not gonna call it a cute story.
Smart.
But I think for me, I'm intrigued because either they are gonna find a way to win games, or to your point, it's not gonna be a cute story. It's gonna be a train wreck. So I think just watching is gonna be fascinating to see. The one thing with Bills has always been about eliminating every single distraction and all of those things. And since he's gotten there, all we've talked about is everything except for football. So seeing these clips are fascinating because it's just like, this is the Bill that I know.
Oh, he
The
actually
twirling
coaches
of the
football.
whistle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Twirling of the whistle, looking at guys like, I mean, what are we doing? You gotta block the guy in front of you. We talked about this. Like, that's the Bill that we all know and love. He ain't give a damn about asking me about how my wife's doing, how my kids are doing. Hey, Jay, when you show up, what's your assignment on cover 2? That's the only thing we talked about. So this is the Bill Belichick that I want to see, and this is the Bill Belichick that's going to be winning games.
Were you surprised when you saw like all the Instagram stuff last year with Jordan when they were doing like the mermaid on the water and all that? I don't know if I'm even allowed to talk about it.
They've kind of eliminated the distractions, to be fair.
What'd you think of all that
last month or so?
She wasn't working for North Carolina when that stuff was going out, just by the way.
Dude,
Sure.
there's not a guy that played for Bill that's not gonna say they weren't shocked by that. Like,
Facts.
he was on the beach with her lifted in the air. For one, we didn't even know he was capable of doing that. So like that was the most impressive thing where you would hit the group chat and be like, damn, like, go ahead, Billy B, like, live your life. But it was like, you can't imagine he would be the guy out there doing those things. But hey, life is short, man. You gotta enjoy it while you can.
We both have sons the same age. I'd be remiss not asking. Give me an update on your son Caden's athletic career. Where are we at? What are we playing? And what is the future for this young man?
Man, we're in our second year of tackle football, and because he's probably not watching the other day, you know the pads go on, so we start coming up with all these hitting drills. You got to get him fired up. Like, you got to go in there and lay a shoulder. So, you know, my son, so I'm going to match him up with some of the best kids on the team. So we have another kid that's really good on our team. Caden's the tackler. He's running the ball. He drops the shoulder. Boom. Caden hits the ground, full of tears. I'm sitting there as a dad. I'm just like, come on, man, get your ass up, man. You got out here embarrassing the family. Now everybody know McCourty's named on the back of the jersey. Get up, man. You can't be doing this. But he's doing good, man. He's finding his way. He's a little speedster. He has some McCourty in him, so he's doing good, man. Appreciate that.
Jamie?
I'm trying to get him to be as good as Mel Schrager out here shooting hoops and knocking down the 3-ball.
My little guy has been working on that jump shot all summer. We'll see how it goes. In the Brooklyn Basketball Academy. We'll see. We're talking youth sports. You know, Little League is going on too, of course. Go Fairfield. That's who I'm.
Jaludi, though.
Yeah, Joey Jaludi.
Joe
and the
Jaludi
boys.
from Irmo, South Carolina.
That kid's no joke.
They
No
roll
joke.
on. Yeah.
Connecticut plays today, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fairfield, last 2 undefeated U.S. teams, Nevada versus Fairfield, Connecticut.
South Dakota lost?
South Dakota lost. They got their shit pumped by, let me check, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Is that right?
Who would have thought?
I worry that it doesn't
they backed
matter.
them.
It doesn't matter. That Taipei team is
They have the home run king.
They do have the home run king.
Give me a scouting report on Taipei.
The first game that I watched, he stepped up, hit a home run, and then was throwing 83 Little League, which I think was like 106 in the majors.
No, it's like 115 MLB equivalent.
So good luck is what we're saying.
I've never been to Williamsport. Have you guys ever gone to that?
never.
No. Little League World Series?
No.
Anyone?
It's in like the middle of Connecticut, like the no one
Pennsylvania.
cares part of
Isn't
Connecticut.
it in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm disrespect Connecticut like that.
See, told you.
It's all good. J-Mac, good luck finishing up one more Patriots preseason game, and then you'll be on the road all season with CBS, and you'll be doing stuff